Hey guys, welcome back to Bearded Lumber. As always, Matthew and I appreciate you tuning in. This morning we have something completely unusual. I don't know that we've done this exact product before, have we? Or process. Had an unusual call Monday morning, out of the blue. Lady called me with a way out of state number and said, so-and-so customer of mine, give me your number. I said, okay, what can I do for you? And she proceeded to tell me what she was needing. They're starting a cutting board business, and they really like Spalding and Ambrosia maple, and said, we can't find any thick stuff. I said, okay, well, it's your lucky day. We're unloading the kiln this morning, and I've got 2 bundles of what I cut at 2.5 inch live edge, and they wanted live edge too. I got 2 bundles, about 25 slabs of Spalding / Ambrosia maple, and she said, that's what I want, I need it. So I told her, you know, we've never done any business together. Best thing for you to do is come look at it, and then we'll go from there. So, hour-and-a-half drive for her husband, and her business associate. They come up here yesterday, looked at the product, loved it, and we'd already talked about some further processing because they wanted to get it sized down to like an inch and a quarter stock. And I said, just come look at the product. If it's what you want, pay for it, and we'll further process it, and you can pay for that processing fee, you know, when you pick it up. So they come up, looked at the product, fell in love with it, and then talking to her business partner, we got a little better of idea of what they wanted the finished product to look like. Because she wanted me to plane it down to like 1.25 inches, you know, and I was like, well, we can do that. It's just a lot of passes. But after her business partner looked at it, he said, we don't want to plane it down that much. How about just cut it in half, and you know, then we'll end up with 2 slabs. I said, well, that's fine, but you're not going to get 1.25 inches. You'll get 1.125 inches, 1 inch, 7/8, 3/4, you know, depending. He said, that's fine. He said, we'd rather do that than, you know, lose half our capacity by, you know, cutting in half. I said, well, that's fine. It's a lot less passes on the planer. So that's a long-winded answer to tell you what we're doing today. We're finished processing. There was 25 slabs of maple, and I had 5 slabs of beech, and she's going to take those as well. So we're going to cut all these pretty much in half, put them on the mill, and try to cut it like 1 1/8 inches, make 2 slabs, stack them over here, and then we're going to run them through our Grizzly Planer. And anything's wider than 20 inches, unfortunately, we'll have to stand back up on the mill and take just a little off to where it'll go through the planer. Their goal is to make live edge cutting boards that they've got a business model with some real estate developers that this is kind of a free product that comes with the purchase of a house or whatever. That's great for them. It really has no effect on what we're doing. Just something unique. I'd never heard that. We had a developer in our area that was selling houses and making so much profit they give a boat with every house. You remember that, Matthew?
Yeah.
How much money do you have to be making off a house to give a free boat on the lake? No, these were Bennington pontoons. These were nice pontoons. I'm like, dude, how about just lower the cost of my house by 50 grand and you keep the pontoon? But anyway, it's games they play. We're just here to help. We're going to do our part. We got our LT70 ready to run this morning. And they look like they dried pretty good, but the proof is in the pudding when we lay them on the mill and see how flat they are. I told them we'd do the best we could. And we don't have to hit a specific size. We cut these in half, we'll run it through the planer. If we have to plane one piece 4 times, done. If we have to plane one piece twice, done. If we have to plane one 6 times, done. You know, they're not concerned about a little variance in the thickness because each one of their boards is unique. So that's a win-win for us and them. Anything I'm missing on this, Matthew? Yeah, we're going to cut them in half before we cut them in half long ways, and that will, if there's any deviation in the board, that will lessen the effect of when we cut it in half. Now, needless to say, we got to clamp these to the mill tight enough to be able to saw them in half, and that's going to be an all-day challenge there, getting enough grip on it to hold it where it don't shoot out. But okay, we gotta get this done. So let's get to work. That will go through. Right there was. At least they're light. That looks pretty good right there. Let's see if we get it to bite. Let me get this out of the way so I can see. Oh, come on.
I don't want to do it there because you have nothing. You had pitch with it. Keep
What?
going.
I'm trying to.
That should be good right there. Yeah, let's get a good hold. This way. That way we can put the planer over there. My planer's in here first.
Hope we see some good color. Okay guys, that's the first stack done. It yielded a pretty good pile, so we're gonna wait on the other stack and go ahead and plane these. That's gonna be a process all of its own. Like I said, we're not shooting for any particular size. This board may be thicker than this one, and this one may be thinner than that one. They just want them clear. So that's what we're gonna shoot for. And we'll have to sacrifice a little bit because they twisted. Some boards won't clear all the way to the end unless we just thin them down to nothing, and I'm not gonna do that. We'll hit, if they can get 2/3 out of each one of these usable, they can cut that off and then they can run it through their planer if they want to go on down a little thinner. So let's get our Grizzly set up and we're gonna run a few. Whew. Okay, guys, we got most of that done. We stopped, had 5 or 6 boards left. Planer needed a break. This is our last bundle. We had 5 pieces of beech. This is actually beech. It reminds me of sweet gum. It dries horrible, does lots of bad things, but if you can ever get it flat and dry, it's some beautiful stuff. We'll show you more of that when we plane it. We got 5 slabs of that. Yeah. And then we'll cut all these in half and do the same thing we was doing. So we're trying to get it done today. Let's get back to work. Good. So what? Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. We jumped over there and got the rest of them cut in half. That's a job. We're a little more than half done, but we got these beech we're gonna run. I want you to see that. That's something unusual. It's a pretty red color you just don't see a lot of. It reminds me of sweet gum. People don't like it because it's no good outside. It warps, it cracks, it splits. Got a lot of bad habits you got to work around. But if you get a big piece, flat, dry, and squared up, it's stable. It's beautiful wood. If you wanted a 2-inch slab, I'd say cut a 3.5. Wouldn't you, Matthew? You know, if you had to have a 2-inch slab, I'd say cut it 3.5, just to be sure, because it's that kind of material. But the end product's good, so we're gonna run a couple, and then once we get it, well, we're gonna run one. Once we get it prettied up, we'll stop over here and take a good look at it. Okay, guys, let's take a quick look at it. Okay, this beech has a beautiful grain to it. See how it cracked there? That's part of the reason people don't like it, but if you cut any crotch knot, it's gonna crack. But turn it over and look at the other side. Yeah, isn't that pretty? Yeah, I'd use it. I mean, it's like sweet gum. Anywhere you got a knot, you're gonna get a defect. Can't blame the wood for that. That's just the way it's made. So Oh, that's a beech for you. Not something you see every day. Like I say, it has some pretty bad habits, but you can work with them. Okay, enough chitter chat. We have got to get these done. It's getting late today, so what we always say, butts and elbows. Let's go. Let's get it. Okay guys, welcome back. I apologize for all the time lapse. It has been all day. It is 8 o'clock p.m. for Matthew and I. It took a lot longer than anticipated, but we got it done. There's the whole pile. Matthew actually had us plane one of these diagonal cookies we make. Customer looked at them, thought it might be something they'd want, so I got a whole pallet, a couple pallets of them. We'll send that one with them if they can use it. Maybe we can make a deal. Whew. This is why you do this stuff by the hour. Like I say, we've been hard at it. We hadn't slacked. Took a couple breaks. Had a customer drop off some beams that we got to resaw, some western red cedar, some yellow pine. But I am wore out. So that's a lot of passes on the planer. Cutting this stuff in half on the mill is very stressful. Now, our LT70 makes that very easy. I didn't cover what I was doing, but I had a pattern. I had it set on an 1.25 inch pattern. So when I got it clamped, I'd just be in, no pattern mode, and I'd toggle down until I got to where I could see my laser. I'd take my left thumb and I'd click it, and it'd put it in pattern mode of 1.25 inches, and all I'd have to do is go click, and it would set the head to 1.25 inches, go right through. That's where the DCS system and your AccuSet 2 has a distinct advantage over the LT35 we run for years, to where you have to do all that yourself. So, what did we learn? We learned it was a lot of work. They was 25, 30 something slabs, and we cut, well, there was 25 12 footers, and we cut that in half, so that made 50 boards, and then we sliced them in half, so that made 100 halves, plus, so we had 100, they should be 110 pieces here, and we finished them at various widths, or thicknesses. We didn't care. We'd run it, and flip it over, run it, flip it over, and when that piece cleared up, we set it off to the side. I didn't care what it was, whether it was 3/4, 11, 13 16, 7/8 inch, 1.25 inch, didn't care. Because the customer didn't care. Now, if they had cared, it'd been different, but they didn't care as long as they were below 1.25 inches and as thick as we could possibly leave them. There's a couple in there that's probably 1/2 inch, because that's what it took to get it somewhat clear to where they could use it. We enjoy the work. It's just, you know, I quoted it by the hour. Whatever it took, that's what it took. And you got to do that sometimes when you can't tell somebody how long it's going to take. Just like we'll probably have video on cutting all in post. Guy asked me what it's going to cost. I said, well, I think we can do it in 1/2 a day. I said, I tell you what, we'll start on it. If I think it's going to take a drastic amount more time than that, I'll call you and you can make a decision. And that's about as fair as I could be. We don't turn our nose up at any honest work, and this is using equipment we already have. Our Caterpillar tractor, our LT70, our Grizzly Planer. That's why these tools are here, to get used. They're not just to sit on a shelf and look pretty. So if they can't make money, probably won't invest any money in them. So I hope this helps. You got any questions, comments on it, let me know. Drop in the comment section below. Big shout out to Matthew and Solomon editing all these videos. This is going to be a tough one because there's a lot of time lapse. If you get a chance, check out Solomon's channel, Third Beer Fishing. Spoiler alert, we'll have some videos with Solomon coming up here in a month or so. We got a trip planned. We're going to sneak off to Florida, spend some time with him. So you'll see him on some of our videos. But if you get a chance, check out his channel. Big shout out to WoodMizer as always. Couldn't do it without them. They make an excellent tool, guys. Now it is a tool. Tools break. You got to work on them. You got to maintain them. But it's an excellent tool. Also our Grizzly. Been a wonderful investment for our shop. I bought it years ago when we was doing woodworking, and we probably using it more now than ever. Had a customer call me today. Regular customer, every couple months, needs 15 1x10s. They doing craft work, and we'll run them right across this Grizzly. We'll get them down to like 13/16 and leave him just a little bit so that he can run it through his 12-inch planer, but not have to hog off much. Just a little clearing pass on both sides, and that's what they want. So that's going to do it, guys. Appreciate you watching. Hope you learned something. We'll see you back at the mill.
Thank you for watching. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion. Click here to subscribe for more great content. We'll see you at the mill.